Hello and welcome to IB Times TV. I'm Jessica Minton with your midday market update. Joining me today is Jason Weisberg of Seaport Securities to give us a preview of next week's economic calendar. So Jason, next week is a busy week. We are going to see a lot of things. So I'll start off globally with China. We're going to see their second quarter GDP number. Now they have had some trouble with manufacturing and their export data. What do you expect we will see from them?
I imagine that, I guess from the onset, or at least on the surface, we'll see a disappointing number. That's the way the trend has been with the Chinese data points, economic data points, has been downward. And I think that people probably have a built-in level of expectation that there will be some form of disappointment associated with next week's number. That being said, I also think that's priced into our equity market.
And also next week, we will see retail sales for June released. It did better than expected in May. But for a while now, there has been this wealth effect where we are seeing these higher equity prices, housing rising prices, but how long can that last for the consumer since we haven't exactly seen real wage growth in the last 2 years?
Well, I think what you're seeing is the development of companies becoming more efficient with less employees, which is reflected in the jobs numbers that we've been seeing, which don't show real job growth. And I think that there still is a tremendous amount of wealth that's trickling down, but it's just being shared by less people. And there's a disconnect with the equity market because the equity markets and their prices are reflecting many things that reach far beyond people's personal wealth, unfortunately. And one would hope that at least their retirement accounts for people that do have retirement accounts are participating in this increase of wealth, by many people that are participating in the equity market.
And finally, we did see earnings from JP Morgan and Wells Fargo today that did beat expectations, but next week we also will see earnings from Bank of America, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs. How is investor sentiment going into next week after seeing these earnings reports?
I would say that investor sentiment is pretty strong, and that's why we see this continued upward bias, and we will continue to see it. Yes, we'll have some companies that disappoint, but I think the overall majority of companies are going to meet or beat expectations, even in a diminished mood, shall we say, that people don't have this great level of expectation. But there really is only one way for the economy to go, and that's upward. And I think companies have really figured out how to get their financial cards in order, and that's reflected in their equity prices today.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your insight.